All right, so here's video games in 1991. Nintendo released the Super Nintendo to the American market. That's when the gaming took the next step.
That's when I, as a video gamer, my Nintendo Entertainment System got put to a side. All the games that came after, like on NES, I did not play them.
Also released with the Super Nintendo that year was Super Mario World, often regarded by a lot of people as the best in the whole Mario series. A lot of people love it. I love it too. And then, of course, iconic game right here. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past was released in 1991.
I would say that that's probably the best game ever on
SNES. I feel like that game is the game that they were trying to make when they made the first Zelda game. Street Fighter 2.
Could it get any better? The three we've just named might be top 5. That was really one of the first fighting games, that style, that I fell in love with.
It set the standard.
Since it was a 2-player, like you got to fight your buddies all day long.
Battletoads on the NES, often regarded as, if not the, but one of the hardest games on the NES. And I'll tell you what, in 1991 for the NES is when the games really started to look amazing. And a lot of times you didn't know if this was a Super Nintendo game or an NES game, and Battletoads was definitely one of those. You play the game today, it's a beautiful game, it looks amazing, and it's only an 8-bit game. It's hard to believe. Bart vs. the Space Mutants on the NES dropped. Another hard-ass game. But for me, definitely in my top 20 nostalgia games of all time, if not my top 10. I love that game, even though it's so fucking hard. Definitely have never made it past the first level. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, The Manhattan Project on the NES, was the last in the Turtles series on the NES, but was followed the same exact year by Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time on the Super Nintendo. So they were still making games for both.
They were double dipping. Turtles in Time, man, to me, I don't think you could get much better at that era than that, man.
I don't think so either. I think it was the culmination of all the Turtles games leading up to Turtles in Time. I was just playing it the other day, and wow, it holds up. And then, of course, we have to mention, we haven't mentioned the Sega Genesis at all. It came out before 1991. But they introduced their most iconic character, Sonic the Hedgehog.
When you played that, you felt like Sega had arrived.
I think for Sonic the Hedgehog and the music in Sonic the Hedgehog and the actual Sega Genesis system, I think I have equal nostalgia as I do with the NES and, like, say, Super Mario. That's video games in 1991.